Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. And as I always do, I normally do 3 videos, right? Every single patch rotation. Normally I talk about what my predictions were in the last one, if I got it wrong or right. Then I do a predictions videos that I probably already did. I think I already posted, right? Yeah. And basically trying to predict what is the most likely things to go in the next patch and be added, right? Between vehicles, mechanics, or anything like that, or anything of anything, right? And then we normally have the 3 wishes that I have. And of course the last year is normally one of the biggest patches of the year, you know? And of course it is around Christmas, right? So what are the 3 things that I want from Christmas, from Gaijin, basically, in a patch? So let's talk a little bit about it and get the discussion going. Of course, always comment on what are your 3 wishes for the next patch. So the first one is kind of a mix between 2 things, right? But I will decide to just add it as one because it is basically the vehicles that I would like to see. And of course, I need to talk about these 2, right? It's something that, I mean, it's just like I just have to. I'm sorry, I really do. But it is the Su-24 and the MiG-25. Both aircraft, of course, I am very keen to the Soviet aircraft, especially the interceptors, but also the interdictors are very interesting. And the Su-24, it needs to be added. I already did some videos talking about it. It is pretty much the same as the F-111, but made in Russia, right? And the MiG-25 is an aircraft that would have its problems. You know, it would be hard to use. It would not be for everybody. It would have a very specific way of flying. I already have a ton of videos about it. But, of course, it's an aircraft that I think it's too iconic to not be added to the game. It's just too... I mean, it's literally the reason why we have the F-15. So, I mean, it's way too iconic to not be added. I don't care if it's going to be good or not for the meta or anything like that. Not everything needs to be meta or amazing. Just for the sake of having the vehicle would already be an amazing achievement, I think. And it probably would be the aircraft that I'm most excited to see in the future of War Thunder, because I just love it so much, right? But still, these would be the 2 aircraft specifically that I want in the next patch. Of course, the MiG-25, I think it's kind of too far-fetched, but the Su-24, as I talked about in my prediction videos, I think it's very, very, very likely to be added, since we already have most of the interdictors in real life in the game, right? The second thing is more of a kind of a general idea, okay? Basically, the idea was more AIM-9Ms or advanced AIM-9s, like the AIM-9LI for the Germans and the Swift variants of the AIM-9 for the British, AN-3s, R-73s, all these missiles that we already have in the main nations and some of the other nations to be added for all nations. Honestly think that we will see Fox 3 missiles being added, like the M120 and R-77 and stuff. And there are some aircraft that cannot use those missiles. For example, the older MiG-29s, the 912A, the 913, there's the EJ Kai, for example. There are a lot of 11.7s, 12.0s, aircraft like that that probably will not receive the F-16As, Block 10s, the Nets, aircraft like that. The 2000C, okay, I mean, we already have the Magic 2, so at least it's now a little bit more fixed. But in general, there's a lot of aircraft that, due to the BR compression, will face Fox 3 missiles without having any Fox 3 missiles. That they just cannot use it, right? And with that, it comes kind of a question. Will they receive something like these other IR missiles, like the AIM-9M, the R-73 that I was talking about, so that they can actually have a chance in fighting? I mean, that would be my wish. I mean, I already think that they need to be added anyway. Like, Italy needs to receive the AIM-9M on the F-16 that it has. China needs to have its F-16 with the AIM-9M, in my opinion. The AM-3 needs to be added to Japan, or the AIM-9M to the F-16AJ maybe, or something like that. You know, finally Germany has the R73 right now, so at least they are good. The Swedish could receive something. I don't know. I think the Gripen would be the best option, but still, the British with their F4s and Tornadoes receiving, at least the Tornado receiving AIM-9M or something like that. So, or the AIM-9L Swift, right, or whatever it's called. So more missiles so that we are more balanced in top tier, because right now there's a really, I mean, you don't feel too much in the match because all matches are kind of mixed, but there are an imbalancing between the nations themselves, that some of the nations have these missiles and some of the nations don't. So that would be one of my main wishes, to be honest, just having this idea behind everybody having these missiles. And the third thing, the last thing, I gotta talk about the submarines, okay? I really wish it was a really, I mean, I don't think it's going to come this soon, but I honestly think that submarines are going to come at some point. The event that we had, that we are having or had, is clearly a test for that, I think. It's just, there's no, like, other reason why they would do that, right? And with that in mind, like, I would love to see a submarine tech tree. It really honestly would change naval battles for me. I think it would honestly make naval battles worth it for me, because the gameplay is really different. It's really asymmetrical, and I don't think Gaijin understands why. I mean, maybe they do, I don't know, and they're pushing for it. But honestly, people want to see iconic ships, just like they enjoy iconic tanks and iconic aircraft and interesting aircraft and tanks. So I think the majority of the players that would love to play naval but don't play naval, one of the reasons, I think there are two main reasons. One of them is the vehicles themselves, because we have a lot of older vehicles that nobody kind of care too much about. We're getting there, of people, starting to get to proper Second World War big ships, but we're not quite there yet. We don't have the big battleships. We don't have the Cold War stuff. And I think the second thing is the game modes. And submarines would basically help with both these things, right? It would help with more unique vehicles, very interesting vehicles, iconic vehicles like the U-boats, maybe the Soviet Cold War submarines and the American Cold War submarines, the Nautilus or something like that. It would be very interesting to see. And on the game mode that itself, it would be a lot different as well on the naval side of things. So it would be worth to see how many players would enjoy, sailing in submarines. So submarines would be my third wish for it. It's too soon. Honestly, I don't think it's going to come this soon. If it's going to come at all, it probably will take, I don't know, 6 months to 1 year or something like that, I would guess, maybe more even, because there's a lot of things that need to be polished in the game mode. But I just think it's a very good direction, and it's a very good take on submarines compared to other games that we see in the market, right? So I just really enjoy it, and hopefully it gets added as a proper mode and proper tech tree. Okay. These are my 3 wishes for Christmas. Kind of soon, I know, but I really wanted to say, talk about these things. Let me know your 3 wishes for it, and I see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys. See you.